Good morning. We just heard the creams of the crops from different sectors talking. The professors, the science, the community, and the private sector. It would be good if people outside the room are as great as cream of the crop as the people who just spoken. But there are great scientists, great community leaders, great companies, and they are not so great groups of people like that. And that's where the government will have to deal all of them in the general directions of where we go. Here in Copenhagen, we try to come up with general directions, the directions to go and the general boundary where we will move. Back when we go to our countries, we need to develop that into programs, actions. The President of Indonesia has volunteered to reduce the emission on a voluntary basis from BAU at the level of 26% by 2020, at 2020. Now we develop the plans, we have the plans, there are options, and 70% of the options will be based on efforts made in forestry and peatlands. If we go deeper, then we work at the level of provincial and districts, because at the end of the day, mitigations as well as adaptations are actions on the ground. What we agreed here is general directions, but those who will deliver emission reductions are there on the ground. So we go to I want to share with you today the data of Central Kalimantan Province, one of the richest forest resource province of Indonesia that has 15% of Indonesia's emission. And that 15% amount to a level of about 340 million ton. Of that, 95% is coming from forest land and peatland. So the opportunity to reduce emission is big. It's there on the ground. It presents itself in the forms of prevent fires, forest and peatland fires, reduce deforestation through effective land allocation policies, improving agricultural productivity, rehabilitate idle and degraded peatland, reforest, we have heard some of the examples, and manage forest sustainably. All of that will deliver higher emission reductions than the projected business as usual emissions for that province. So we will bring Central Kalimantan a net sink province in 2020 if we can do it seriously. What are the elements of that? The decisions here in Copenhagen will drive both the political commitment and the financial supports that we need. Yes, it's true, working with RED, with other forestry-related emission reductions is cost relatively moderately priced. The cost of doing it is reasonable, but still it comes at cost. And that cost for the small farmers, for the people who live in the forest, is everything, it's big. For the district government, it means a lot. They don't have other ways of planting food crops, for example. Their land is what they have. So it has to come. The international support has to come in a ways that it will enable alternative development on the ground, alternative livelihood on the ground, that should not come with so many constraints. I agree that there has to be, we all agree that there has to be some safeguards, but that's also for the benefit of local people. We need to come resources without string attached that will enable central government, provincial government, district governments to move to a direction of sustainable forest management. Thank you.